Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening in whenever and wherever you are. So, in this very exact moment, I'm going to be reviewing a sales contract between an Indonesian company and a Thailand company. But first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Safina Alia Rameyza from the Faculty of Law in Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jakarta with the last three student identification number 115. So this is the very first part of the contract. The contract was made between PT Nantangin as the buyer, which is located in Surabaya, and was represented by Mr. Dwiki Inzaghi as the Chief Executive Officer, and with Thai Machine Industry Company Limited as the seller, which is located in Bangkok and was represented by Mr. Ferli Sulistyo as the sales manager. So the scope of the contract is to buy two kinds of machine. The first one is ABC1 mixing machine, and the second one is XYZ23 assembly machine, which had the total amount of 125,000 US dollars. This scope of the contract mention details about the price, the quantity, and the details about the machine. In this section of the contract, it shows the details of the specifications in the quality, the manufacturer, the country of origin, and the contract values. The country of origin is from Thailand, but the contract values is only the total amount of the both machines that are purchased. So it means the tax for the international shipping fee is not included, which is not mentioned in this section of the contract. It is also mentioned in the packing or marking section that the safetiness of the long-term shipping is in the hands of the manufacturer's exporting company, but it has to be underlined that if the goods of the machine are damaged, it's going to be the seller's responsibility. In this section of the contract, it mentions every details of the delivery. It is mentioned that the delivering of the commodities will be around 75 days since the letter of credit is issued. So I can conclude that the machines that are purchased is going to be arrived in estimated days in total of the letter of credit is issued and the 75 days since the letter of credit is issued. As far as I know, a letter of credit from the bank is either in 60 days, 90 days, or 120 days. So, the time the goods are delivered, it will have the right amount of the time between the goods and the letter of credits period. Next, on the fourth article of the contract, it is mentioned that 100% of the contract value should be opened by the buyer for the seller after they put a signature on the contract. And it is also mentioned that the letter of issue is going to be issued by the National Bank of Thailand in Bangkok branch. It is mentioned in the contract that 100% of the contract values shall be made following the documents to the issuing bank by the seller. So I can conclude that 100% of the contract values and the letter of credit will be taken care of by the seller. And the seller already prepared the requirements on the letter of credit, which includes two original signed and stamped commercial invoice, two original detailed packing list, one original bill of lading, and one copy of certificate of origin issued by Chamber of Commerce of Thailand. It is also stated that the letter of the credit will be given the period in 69 days from the data of the letter of credit. And it is also mentioned that all bank charges outside Indonesia are for the seller's account. So it means that the charges for the letter of credit and all shipping issues from the National Bank of Thailand that are calculated outside Indonesia will be transferred or will be the responsibility of the seller's account. And in this part of the contract, it is stated about the duration and the arbitration of the machines. The durations of the warranty is in 12 months from the date of goods handover is signed. So if there's any damage or faulty design of the machine, the buyer could return the machines within the period of 12 months to the seller, as it is stated that the seller is responsible for setting and bearing all the charges and expenses of the workmanship and materials. And in the arbitration part, it is stated that all the disputes shall be settled by negotiation between both parties. So all the things that are included in this contract are already discussed by both the seller and the buyer. If there's any conflict between the seller and the buyers during the period of the contract, the disputes shall be referred to the Thailand Council for the Promotion and International Trade Thailand branch, and the fee for the arbitration and the other charges is going to be on the losing party's responsibility. And on this part of the contract, it mentions about force majeure. It can be concluded that the things that are considered as force majeure are war, fire, floods, and earthquakes, and the seller should not supply about the force majeure arise in within 7 days. This part shows the accountability and the responsibility of both parties because the kinds of force majeure mentioned in this section of contract, including natural disasters. So, both of the sellers and the buyers needs to agree on possible abilities and seek for any countermeasure in order to exit the contract. In this part of the contract that discuss about the penalty that are still connected with the arbitration parts mentions about all the possibility that could happen in between the arbitration period. It is stated that the penalty for mentioned delays shall be counted in amount of 0.5% of the contract value for each completed week of delay. This part discussed about the rights of the buyer if there is any damage caused because of the delay. This part of the contract is the last section of the contract. This part mentions about the general regulations for both parties. The present contract was made in December 2015 and it comes into effect since the date the seller receives as the letter of credit payment. So it could be concluded that this contract had the period of days in total of 96 days from the letter of credit is issued as it was mentioned before. And finally, for my own personal opinion about the sales contract that was made between PT Nantangin and Thai machine industry, this contract includes all of the important parts of the sales contract. However, this contract didn't mention about the exact period of time of the contract value, so I had to calculate it on my own based on the letter of credit that are issued and the shipping days of the machines. And that's all from me. Thank you guys for your attention. I hope you guys have a great day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.